Welcome to Origin Stories. I'm RD.
I'm Parrot.
We're telling stories behind the digital art revolution.
Each week we interview top artists
and live stream with the community.
Let's go. Today is tomorrow's origin story.
Sam, Planttdaddii, welcome to Origin Stories.
Hello, it's nice to be here.
It's so nice to have you on such stellar recommendations from many, many people. And I told you off recording, I'm going to say it here now, I have heard your name so many times over the last several weeks. It's cast a lot of attention to your work, and I've had a lot of fun exploring it in the meantime.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, just everyone in the community has been so kind to me lately, and I couldn't really ask for anything more as far as like friends go. Like I don't know. Yeah, it's really touching, and yeah, I feel really grateful for everyone that has lifted me up in the last 3 weeks. Yeah.
So Sam, the question that we have to start with on Origin Stories is exactly that. What is your origin story?
Oh, do I start with when I got into 3D, or do I start from the beginning?
Like, you could take it as far back as is relevant to your story. So you kind of choose your own adventure, pick your starting point, and then walk us forward.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I think a important thing to note in my work is that it is all like, it's basically what I do, like, to like process everything in my life. Like, it is what I think about when I wake up, what I think about throughout the day, how I like process everything that I take in my life. And it's how I've like, I don't know, it's just like how I get through everything. And so like the fact that like, I don't know, it's just the fact that I'm being recognized for just something that I do by default is just insane. But yeah, I don't know. My origin story would probably start, I think I'm gonna start with ceramics class, high school, maybe.
Yeah, start there.
That's where like sculpture is like where I really thrive. So yeah, I had this amazing ceramics teacher named Mr. Fly, and he would let me stay in the ceramics classroom throughout every period of the day that I didn't have to be in other classes, or like at lunchtime, or like just like whenever I wanted to be there. So I kind of, and after school, every day almost. Really special guy, and he really helped me at first, like, but yeah, so it started there. And you know, you can't have a ceramics classroom forever, so that's when I kind of like dove into digital after high school.
Wait, stay on that ceramics class for a sec. So
yeah, okay.
Because it seems like it really lights you up. Like it was this really powerful moment in your artistic progression. Now, when you got into that classroom, I always ask this question: was it a light switch or was it a progression? Where when you got into that classroom, did it just captivate you right away, and you had that aha moment? I need to be here, or was it a build and a build and a build, and then all of a sudden you found yourself spending more time there?
Yeah, it's just like I needed to be there. Like the like just being there and making things is like where I'm the most like at peace, I guess. Like I have a lot of like my head is just going all the time. So when I'm like focusing on something and like making something, I feel calm and at peace and happy, and like I just wanted to be there all the time. And it just like yeah, the fact that he really allowed me to do that and like not have to deal with like high school bullshit and like, you know, just like let me kind of like escape into my own world every day was really special. I don't know. I don't know if it was like a gradual thing or what, but yeah, I was just there all the time.
That's great. And then, okay, so then when it had to end, then you transition.
It wasn't immediate. After that, I didn't do sculpture for a while. Like I would buy like Sculpey sometimes, or like, you know, like the oven bake clay, but I kind of like took a step back from art not a step back, like, but I wasn't like producing like finished work all the time, I guess. And then I just kind of like was working terrible jobs that I were emotionally taxing in ways that I don't even really want to go into. And yeah, and then in like a few years after, I graduated in 2015 and I got ZBrush in 2018. So I had like a 3-year hiatus of just living a life that was kind of like void of art. So yeah, and I got ZBrush and just kind of like was able to sink back into that feeling of, you know, just being completely, you know, engrossed in your craft. And that I really missed that and just kind of became completely obsessed. So yeah, for the last 4 years, I've basically been locked in my house in brush, and to see anything coming from that is just surreal. So yeah.
What was that initial decision like after you stepped back from art and then eventually picked up ZBrush and said, I'm going to, you know, at least made some sort of conscious decision that I'm going to try something again on the artistic side? How was that decision made?
Well, so the decision to get into 3D art was actually because of live visuals, like at festivals. Like that's what inspired me to get into 3D specifically. That, and yes, I love sculpting, but the idea of having my work like in front of a lot of people in that way was just really, really cool. So I have this friend that is a lighting engineer for a company called LMG, and they do just, you know, festival lighting and stuff. And he gave me my first like bootleg copy of Cinema 4D. And yeah, just kind of went from there. And then he helped me a lot with like kind of pushing me to get into 3D. Yeah. But am I answering the questions already?
Sam, you're spot on. There are no rules here. We're just telling your story in any way, shape, or form. That's going to be the best form.
Okay.
So continue.
The best flavor, right?
What's the flavor?
Limoncello. It tastes kind of like birthday cake for some reason.
It's a good choice. I actually haven't had it in a while. I'll have to go out and pick up some.
Yeah.
So keep walking us through. So then you dive in, right? Then you dive in. Like you said, the last 4 years, you didn't even need COVID to hit. You were already inside doing your thing.
Yeah. My lifestyle didn't change that much with COVID. It's kind of depressing. But yeah, pretty much just, I mean, like I started in Cinema 4D for like 6 months before I got ZBrush actually. And I started with like, oh God, like Greyscalegorilla tutorials at first. And those were really helpful. And I'm like forever in debt to Chad from GSG for teaching me his ways and kind of just like allowing me to learn the ropes of Cinema 4D. His classes and his like tutorials are great. So if anyone's like just starting out, I would definitely recommend his stuff. But yeah, started there, and yeah, I don't really know how to like describe the last 4 years really. I mean, it's just kind of like, obviously when I started, it wasn't like great. Like it's been a really hard, like there's a lot of learning curves, and there's been a lot of lost projects and a lot of just roadblocks, and getting into a place where I'm comfortable with my workflow took a long time. So yeah, I don't know.
Let's go back to the beginning of those 4 years. So one thing I do as well is go to an Instagram account every now and again and scroll all the way back. And in this case, scroll back to November 29th of 2017. So what was your decision then to post a work, an image on Instagram?
God, let me see what you're talking about. It's so embarrassing.
It's untitled. It's just emojis.
Of course. It's untitled. It's just emojis. Scrolling. Is it like this wormy thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talk us through the beginning of Instagram and as you start posting your art there.
So I've actually deleted a lot of my older work from Instagram. But,
fair.
This one was, it's just like kind of playing with, you know, light and, you know, tentacle things, just like using a Mo extrude cloner or Mo extrude random effector and, you know, noise. But yeah, I mean, even like back, like I would totally put something like this in my work, like it's like a little anemone or something. So fundamentally, I haven't changed that much. But so wait, so like walk you through like,
yeah, so let's use Instagram as an anchor to scroll a bit and just kind of talk us through some milestones in your art. And then with the ultimate question, of course, that we're going to get to is how did you enter, you know, crypto art? How did you enter that side of the spectrum? But let's start here. Let's have some fun. Just walk us through your progression.
okay, well, it looks like the very beginning of my Instagram, I was still on my my MacBook, which was that poor computer. So yeah, I was just in Cinema 4D, looks like for the first 4 posts. And or well, first 3 posts, and then I did this like first praying mantis piece with like the little CDJs, like the DJing praying mantis thing. I think a milestone was definitely working with Zeke Beats. He was the first larger artist to reach out to me and give me a platform and give me a little bit more exposure. We're really good friends now, and he's the sweetest human on earth. Him and his wife are amazing. Then I did the pineapple cover for his Zeke's remix of Pineapple with EPROM. That was another big milestone. And then in between all of these is just like personal works. A lot of my pieces early on were for my partner. I did a lot of like cut track art for them. That was like one of my main focuses. Oh, I should bring up in the early part of my 3D journey, I worked for this collective called Waves Presents, ran by Hannah Selene on Twitter. And she is just like absolutely incredibly inspiring, hardworking human that ran this collective here that did like audio-visual immersive experiences, like pre-COVID, obviously, and like she allowed me to be like a creative director on that and make visuals when I was still starting out. So they were all kind of like funny, but she still like let me have an outlet there, and that was really special. You see this, I think it's like, you scroll up a little bit from the bottom and it's like this little like deep sea anemone animation. And that was like at one point that was like a, what would you call it? Like a poster for one of their shows. And that was
cool.
There's like a couple things that are still up on my Instagram from it was called Waves Presents. So yeah, that definitely helped me. That was a stepping stool in my career as a 3D artist. Yeah, and then in between wave stuff and just kind of like making track art for friends, yeah, it just kind of like all started to accelerate as I, you know, got a little bit more comfortable in ZBrush eventually. And I started to do more work for like merchandise, stickers, clothing for Planttdaddii. And then should I just keep going and like kind of like the progression of like who I've worked with and stuff? Or
yeah, and actually let me stop you there and ask you a question I've been meaning to ask, but Planttdaddii, where does that come from?
you know, I love the name Planttdaddii because it was totally random and just like I was like in a, I think it was like after a Waves show, and we were just like in Hannah and her boyfriend's basement with like friends, and definitely like kind of inebriated, and they were just like, you should change your username to Planttdaddii, and like we all like were like, okay, let's do it. And like there was no like Planttdaddii wasn't available like the regular spelling, so like I just added all the characters, and it I don't know, so there's nothing like, it's just random, but the memory of like being around friends and yeah, just kind of like having a nice night, and they were like,
I enjoy that though. I enjoy that story of, you know, names come from all different sources and places, right? But I appreciate that so directly you went back to that moment. Like you were transported back to that moment with friends in that setting, all having a good time and laughing. I love that the name that represents you also represents that moment.
Oh yeah, and like I've thought about rebranding to just my name, like Sam Clover, but it doesn't, like, why would I do that? It just like, why not just like have fun? And who really cares about like how easy something is to like search or like this or that, when I don't know, it's just like it's associated with something special. So yeah,
that's the best. All right, so that was my tangent there, but yeah, please keep going along that road, whether you want to go with people that you worked with or just representations of where your art went over that period of time.
Okay, well, I think so between working with Kenna, which was my partner from like 2019 to let's see when the last thing I made for them, 2019 to like 2020. In between like that time, I did a bunch of just track art for people, like friends. Like one of my favorites is this piece for Dear Evergreen, her Super Bloom EP. It's like a cobra with all of these wildflowers surrounding it. That's a really special piece to me, and she's probably one of my favorite clients to work with. But I think biggest milestone after I was like baby 3D artist making track art was working with Charlotte Rutherford. Are you familiar with her?
I'm not.
So she's a really, really talented director. She's worked with like Grimes and, you know, Charlie XCX and Dorian Electra and just massive pop stars all across the board. And so I messaged her on Instagram like an annoying artist looking for exposure does when they're starting out. And yeah, they got back to me and we became really good friends. And then like 6 months later, they were like, hey, do you want to work on the Claus, Charlie XCX Claus music video with us? And that was a really big, I'm realizing I'm missing so many things. Like there's also visuals for Res in 2019 that I did with Cam MacNeil. And that was really big. That was the first time I saw my visuals, you know, like world tour, like just, so that was in 2019. That was
that a surreal moment to see that?
Yeah, there was like this, I only got to see them twice in real life, but there was this one, it's like a festival called Bumbershoot. And yeah, just like thousands and thousands of people, and like the, you know, LED walls are massive, and it's just so crazy to see like your own work, especially synced up with like music in the way that Cam is capable of doing. He's very talented, and he did a really good job taking what I made and making it look really, really good. I could try to find a video somewhere, but I have no idea. Probably take a sec. But
if we find it later, I'll link it on Twitter when I put like the show notes up and everything.
Yeah, that piece is titled Hex, and it's kind of like the satanic, like, how many eyes does it have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 11-eyed beast, right next to the bat piece and the otter piece with the yellow background on my Instagram. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was actually the first big milestone, and then after that was the Charlie XCX stuff with Charlotte. But yeah.
So take us to on your Twitter, you have a pinned tweet, and it says, "This is my wondrous bug house." Talk us through that.
That title?
Yeah, just what it means to you, how that plays into your characters.
Oh God. Okay, well, that title is from the album by Trevor Powers, or Youth Lagoon. Are you familiar with that musician?
I'm not.
Okay, so when I was a teenager, I definitely dabbled in a lot of psychedelics, and his music was definitely in the part of those experiences for me. And yeah, so Wondrous Bug House is one of his albums, and it's really trippy, fun, ethereal music. And yeah, that's where that came from. But the bug pieces for me were mostly a kind of like on-ramp for the crypto space. Like I needed to challenge myself in a very short period of time to kind of like refine my skill further. And so in like the course of 2 weeks, I made 5 pieces for SuperRare and Foundation, just to kind of like, I don't know, I felt like I needed to really like catch things while they're hot, I guess. And so like my plan was to get that series out, and now I'm kind of like taking a step back and taking the like scarcity route, I guess. But yeah, the bug series was just sort of a way to challenge myself with yeah, I mean, there's nothing really more technical that you can make other than like, you know, bugs. So
Yeah.
I love it too, so it was fun. But
So
yeah.
Sam, a step back from that, because you that was a way for you to challenge yourself within crypto art, and you tied it to SuperRare and Foundation. But just to walk that back, how do you first even find crypto art? How does that come onto your radar?
I had a family member mention it to me 5 years ago, and I was like, maybe like 4 years ago actually, and I was like, that sounds dumb. Pain, just, you know, but yeah, that's how I originally heard of it. But then the reason I got into it in October was, or my ex mentioned it to me in September, and they told me to apply to SuperRare, and at the time it was still early, so I just messaged SuperRare, and they were like, what's your email? And like fast tracked me. I was on in a week. So
Amazing.
That's not even a thing anymore, like at all. So yeah, I feel extremely grateful for my ex, and yeah, I don't know what I'd be doing if they hadn't suggested that, because I know I wouldn't have done it on my own.
Now, when you applied to SuperRare, were you thinking whatever happens, happens? Were you seeing the full potential of the space?
Oh no, I was just doing it like to see what would happen. Yeah, I was just, I was like, I mean, couldn't hurt, you know, sort of thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then, so how do you, so with that mindset, then you email and you're on within a week. Talk us through the process of choosing your first ever creation. Now I think 24 creations on SuperRare as of today, but what's your first creation, and why was it chosen?
My first piece that I put up was Rabbit Brain, and that was like my most recent piece that I feel like, I don't know, I felt like it was important to put something like fresh and new up there. Like I wasn't sure, I was so unfamiliar with like crypto art that I wasn't comfortable putting any of my older work up. So I was like, I'll put something that I'm not like super attached to up right now. Yeah, and that was my process with that. And then it got a really decent amount of traction for like, you know, me being a baby artist, crypto artist. And yeah, it sold for, at the time, ETH was at like 350, I think, and it's for 3 ETH to a good friend. I'm not actually sure how to pronounce this username. It's really bad.
Totemical, right?
Yeah, Totemical.
I mean, that could be the pronunciation. Don't hold me to it. I run into this every single day where I have it in my brain, and I've been wrong a few times. So, Totemical, I'm sorry if I'm getting that wrong.
Yeah, he's been so sweet, and I talked to him a lot about like, I don't know, just like how to navigate the space, and he's been so supportive, and just kind of like told me to like wait it out, because there was a pretty big dry spell for me. I don't want to say that because it wasn't actually that big of a dry spell, but like, you know, things did slow down for a bit for me, and I don't know if that's just because I wasn't like super active on Twitter or like what, but yeah, he kind of like, he's been very reassuring, and I'm really thankful that my first piece went to him. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really good home. And then I see your second piece went also to a really good home, which is Goltra.
Oh yeah.
And that's Meadow Stomper.
Oh yeah. I love that piece.
We're taking you back through memory lane here.
That piece is from 2019, I believe, and it was it was like a B-side artwork for one of my ex's songs that she released. And so there's a couple, it's other other like sister piece, which is titled Next, she agreed to let me mint those two. I'm really grateful for that, because I'm really proud of those pieces, and they have a lot of put a lot of time and emotion into both of them. So yeah, I don't know.
And then I want to walk it forward just a little bit. This is a selfish one because I think I've told you before, but it's my favorite artwork of yours, and it's slurred for a word.
That's my favorite too. It really is, and I really regret minting this one, actually. That's the only thing that I really regret doing is selling that to someone random on SuperRare. But I have the sculpt still, and I'm gonna do a facelifted version. I'm gonna open it up in ZBrush soon when I have some time, and kind of I'm gonna make a new one. So
Fun.
Yeah, I really want to, because like it's my favorite sculpt, and it completely happened randomly. I just opened ZBrush and I didn't have a plan, and it was just, that sort of like the birth of something like that is just really nice. And yeah,
it's just it's incredible, the detail, the texture and color. It's just really captivating and interesting. It's one of those artworks that you can look at and you have an immediate impression, but then you can spend some time with and look at different aspects of it. And
yeah, it means a lot to me. It does, and I'm glad that a lot of people do bring this piece up, and yeah, I'm glad that you enjoy it.
And while we're on SuperRare, what other piece means something to you? Take us down any story road, a story of creation, a story of the interaction on the platform itself, wherever you want to go with it.
Well, I think aside from Slurred for a Word, Feathered Friend means the most to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that piece is so like when I was a kid, my home life was really shitty, like really shitty. So I had this book by John J. Audubon that was like massive, like just of his bird illustrations. And so almost every day I was like literally obsessed. I'm talking like when I was a kid, like probably like toddler to, like 8 or 9.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go through that, and it would just help me so much and inspire me. And the details that he puts in his work was just like, it floored me even when I was a kid. So it kind of like, that piece is about, I don't know, just kind of like getting through shitty times. And yeah, I don't know.
It's a beautiful piece. It really is. And I didn't even know this, but now looking at it, Jason Ebeyer has collected it.
Yeah, that's really special to me. He bid on it, and I like accepted it immediately. It's like, this is yours. I want this to be in your collection forever.
And especially for such a meaningful piece with a story, a very real story behind it, to have that in someone's hands like Jason, I can imagine how that would be pretty special.
Yeah, a lot of my work is like it's very few and far between where there are like concrete stories like that. Like a lot of the time it's like I'm making it to like almost as like a coping method with just like dealing with day-to-day things, creating art as like a coping method. But like pieces like Slurred for a Word and Feathered Friend are extremely important to me. And my most recent or second to most recent mint, Is This Death Really You, is very important to me also. But yeah, those are 3 pieces that have very intense meaning to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that one collected by 888. So
yes.
I mean, Sam, Planttdaddii, you scroll through your SuperRare, you have quite a batch of collectors that have pieces of yours. It's a pretty incredible group.
Yeah, I think you're not wrong.
Like Zonted, Frenetik Void's on there.
Yeah. Oh, he's been really cool. He's really sweet, and I'm thankful that he got that one. It suits his collection. So yeah.
And we can keep, I mean, MantaXR is on there, Mode Rats is on there. This is, we may have just found, you know, the literal who's who of collectors all on your SuperRare.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And it's yeah, yeah. All of these collectors have been extremely uh, extremely kind to me, and I consider them all very good friends at this point. Especially MantaXR. God, he really boosted me up with the purchase of How Romantis, Levity, Longing, and 69 Carat. Kind of like he was like, if I do this for you, like you gotta like I'm gonna have like a new PC build soon, so I'll be able to do it's like an investment thing, you know, like and he doesn't, you know, people don't do that like just because, you know, so it's very humbling. And yeah.
An incredible journey. And let's go now over to your foundation page. So
Okay.
talk us through what lies on foundation.
So foundation, so curating each platform has been challenging, but foundation has a more you know, light, fluffy, ethereal body of work, and I plan to keep it that way. And yeah, I love all of these pieces so much, but I think Unconditional step by far my I don't know, I like have a lot of feelings about this piece, but like I'm very happy that Alex has it. Do you know how to pronounce his username? Euphoria?
Oh yeah, Aeforia. Yes, Alexi.
Okay. That's right. Okay.
I didn't even know that Alexi had this. That's unbelievable. Your list continues to amaze and delight.
Yeah. Yeah. Jason and him. Jason owns Pressure's Pleasure. Also. And so they both bid on the same day, and that was just like fucking crazy. Like what? I'm still so small, like in the, you know, big picture as far as like the 3D community goes. So having two people like them, you know, kind of like pay me any mind at all is like wild. I don't know.
And then Goltra again on It's Not Over Easy.
Yes. That was a one-day workflow for me. So consider this a low effort piece, but it's very it's basically exactly how I feel in the crypto art space. Yeah.
Describe that a bit. How do you feel in the crypto art space?
God, it's so much. I don't know, like I've never socialized this much in my life. I was I was like half homeschooled. So like I had like in high school, I had like some classes at home and some at the high school. And like I didn't like socialize that much. And I've never like went out of my way to like, you know, talk to people on a day-to-day basis. So that's by far the hardest thing, juggling all of that. Yeah, it's just like kind of like trying to find calmness in the craziness. That's like what that is, but like also like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I am just not the best at speaking. I'm so sorry.
You're doing great. I love it. I'm here for it. I stutter all the time. And I found out actually that I say, what do I say a lot that I get told? Something like either or I have this tick that I go to often. So I'm figuring it out too, Sam.
My mom says that all the time, like all the time. I love it. But yeah, this piece is it's really just about staying calm in crazy times. And that's the gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, yeah.
Sam, let's play a game. You ready?
Yeah.
The game is the lightning round. The most important aspect of the game, anything goes, and it's just meant to represent just like quick takes, first word that comes to mind, first phrase that comes to mind. And if any topic really strikes you and you want to go more into it, you can hit timeout and go on a complete tangent too.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Lightning round. Topic number 1. First thing that comes to mind, digital art.
My cat on my lap.
There you go. Topic number 2, Jason Ebeyer.
Sweetest human. Yeah.
Topic number 3, SuperRare.
Cutthroat.
Ooh. Topic number 4, foundation.
Tech art. Net art.
Topic number 5, and we haven't actually talked about this, so maybe take us on a brief tangent here, but Zora.
Untransparent.
Okay. And what and just take that step into you have 1 artwork on Zora, is that right?
2.
Okay. Yeah. Please take us down that road for a moment.
Yeah, I've just had some collectors reach out to me about Zora and the lack of transparency on the site, and like you can't view the artwork on OpenSea, I don't think. Or there's something like a little bit less I don't know, I think that's pretty much it. There's just like not as much not as much not documentation, but yeah, like it's a little bit harder to see exactly where everything is in the guts of things on Zora. And that is it definitely drives some collectors away from that site, and I've been kind of hesitant to mint on there as much, but when I do, I plan on putting putting my more like cartoony, like character, fun, like low effort work there. Yeah.
I like that you're establishing, a theming of each platform, or what that platform means to you, how it interrelates with your work. Right. I personally enjoy that a lot, that you have these different homes that represent different things.
Yeah, it's important. I think if I were to have them all in one, it would be confusing and kind of all like too much. So thank you.
All right, back to that lightning round. Topic number 6, the literal last piece of art that you saw that stopped you in your tracks.
Oh, it's this piece that I just won on Foundation the other day. It's Sick of All the Yelling by Agueda. God, it's so beautiful. I just love it so much. I could look at it forever. Yeah.
What about it? Give us one aspect of it that does that for you.
It's just like the composition is just flawless for me. The balance of colors and I don't know, like with abstracts like this, it's like not that often that I do get stopped in my tracks, I guess. And yeah, I'm really, really thankful that I stumbled across it. And that's one of the most beautiful things about the crypto art space, is you find artists like this that like fucking incredible. and have so much potential. Like they could totally be the next Fuocious, like in 6 months easily. If you look at their Instagram, like wow. But yeah, I love the volume that they have. Like, how did they even do that? Like, I don't know, like the little like dots in here, and just like, yeah, the colors are striking and I love it so much. Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things is stepping back and listening to a story of an artist appreciating an artist, right? Whether that has been through a collected piece or whether that's been through just a literal artwork that they saw. But then, I don't know, it's different than myself, right? Because, you know, I consider myself somewhat creative, but not in that not as much of the artistic sense. So I really just enjoy hearing you speak about that in your own way and what it means to you.
Yeah, I think the colors really speak to me with the piece more than anything. Like her use of color is just flawless. Yeah.
Topic number 7, a bit of an extension to that question. What's the last piece of art that you saw that made you think, why doesn't this have more attention and eyeballs on it?
Let me see. Let me think. Probably my friend Hannah Selene put out a piece titled "All the Places You'll Go," and it has like this girl that's like in water and has like these spheres around, and yeah, I think that piece could really get a lot more attention. It's on the top of her Twitter. Is just Hannah SELENE _. But yeah, there's an animated version of that as well, and yeah, I think she's someone to definitely look out for, and I think that piece could have gotten a lot more traction. Yeah.
And I'm looking at it now too, and maybe we'll link that in the show notes as well.
Yeah, she's extremely talented, and she has like her computer here right now, and she's been helping me a lot, just like be less lonely day to day. So she'll come over and work sometimes with me.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So you're stuck inside working, but you're still getting the socialization and.
Yeah, she's been trying to come over like 3 times a week, and it's been really, really helpful. Because prior to that, I literally just kind of been alone in my house, so with my cat. Yeah.
What's your cat's name?
Roy, or Roybus, like the T. Yeah, he's a ham. I don't know. Oh, he's right there. Can I get him?
Yeah, of course. Bring him on.
Yes. Roybus, come here. Oh, this is my entire world.
Hey, Roybus.
Roybus. But yeah, this cat is like, wow. I don't know what I would do without you.
I'm trying to think. We have a bit of a history on origin stories. I remember it dates all the way back in the first ever interview. But Fred, Fuck Render's dog, Iggy, and let's see, Walking It Forward, A Lot of Money. His dog was prominent. Gavin Shapiro's cat. Who else? There have been a number. There have been a number of animals on origin stories. Always welcome.
Yeah, he has quite the story as well, but he's like definitely feral. So I rescued him when he was a feral kitten, and the people that I got him from were like, you really don't want this cat. What are you doing? So I literally spent like 6 months like conditioning Roybus to be okay with like human interaction at all. Like he used to like literally hiss when he saw anyone, and like he's still pretty scared of people other than me. But yeah, he's a really special work in progress still. Very inspiring little animal. Yeah.
We all need an inspiring little animal at one point or another in our lives. We have a little dog named Wiley. He's getting up there in years, but he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Good
All right. Topic number 8. Concept that you have not yet tackled, but that you want to explore in the future.
for like, this is like kind of coming to light soon, but it's kind of in the same realm as Feathered Friend. And so my favorite bird by John J. Audubon when I was a kid was the spoonbill. And so I'm making a piece that's kind of like inspired by like my brother and I, and how we like, God, why am I like choking up? So like, just kind of like inspired by our like how we got through everything when we were kids. So dumb.
It's not dumb at all.
But yeah, so be doing that. I'm really excited because I love spoonbills, and so it'll be 2 of them, and kind of like in a kind of like confined space, just kind of like smushed up against each other, but like sprawled out, and have just random objects kind of like tucked into the feathers, like cigarettes and alcohol bottle tops and stuff that kind of like symbolizes the bad parts. But yeah.
I you know, you've mentioned a few times just that art is something that's there and something that, I don't know, it seems like this it's meditation. It's just this incredible experience in your life, you know, from the day to day, and to be able to then, you know, to then go back to both what seems like a special moment in one sense, but a very tough moment in another, and bring that forward is pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's a piece that I've had on the back burner for years, so it'll be interesting. May the next
Jason Ebeyer be ready for that one.
Yeah, I would love that. It's so like, I'm really thankful for all of my collectors and like everyone that does own a Planttdaddii, but to have pieces in people's collection like Jason and Aeforia and other artists, there's something very, very special about that. So yeah, I don't know.
Sam, topic number 9. If you could insert any skill set into yourself, Matrix style, chip in the brain, totally painless, and you would immediately possess that full skill set, what would it be?
Oh God, I hate that my brain went to invisibility. Like, I have like really intense social anxiety. So yeah, especially like at the grocery store, if I could just like be invisible and like shop for groceries, that would be great.
Invisibility, I like it. It's like back to that. I used to love that question as a kid, right? It's what superpower would you want, you know? And I don't know. I went through phases where I would jump from one to the next, and I'd reevaluate it. Like, no, that's so silly now. It would have to be this. And
I think mine as a kid probably would have been like flying or something.
Flying is great.
But yeah, as like a practical thing, I think invisibility would be very helpful for me. Yeah.
It'd be good to click into that every now and again, you know, just tap a button or like tap your head. See ya.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, I had this one really formative dream, not a formative dream, but probably the most fun dream that I've ever had. And you know, those dreams that just feel a little bit realer than others.
Of course. Yeah.
Yep. So my house growing up, the upstairs, it was like, it kind of had like these 2 balcony, like a walkway on one side and like a balcony on the other. So you could technically go all the way around. And in this particular dream, I possessed the ability to fly. what I chose to do with that flight was to constantly just go around and around and around the upstairs of the house. And it felt like I was really doing it. So
I love that. It's a wonderful memory. It's incredible how dreams take up this, just like the same memory space as real life. Yeah, there's so many dreams that I have that are just even more crystal clear than real life, you know, sometimes. So, but like lifelong, they stick with you for life. And wait, sorry, my phone. Need to plug my phone in.
That's
oh no. Oh no. Charger's wet. That's not good. It's probably fine. Yeah, I definitely have a few dreams like that as well. That's a really nice one though. There's nothing like just like remembering your childhood home and like that amber glow that it possesses, you know. Nothing like it. And yeah, it's special.
Nostalgia is a really powerful thing, right? Like these triggers to moments, to dreams, to, like you said, to a childhood home, to a location, to the smell, you know, to going back to Planttdaddii, to that moment with your friends, just having like laughing and having a good time. That, to tie it back to art, I mean, that's to me one of the most special aspects of art. That, you know, you intuit your own meaning, even if the artist intended something completely different. That every person who looks at it intuits his or her their own meaning and draws a conclusion, and it becomes, you know, it has a whole different life than maybe was first intended.
Yeah, and like even like little, you can take like a snippet from your childhood self and turn it into something crazy. Like it's just, yeah, memory works in really fascinating ways, and I love diving into that and playing around with it. Yeah,
actually, I get that from you saying that. I can really see that in your artwork. Just I don't know, it's like
that's really important to me. Thank you.
Yeah. The color, like almost the colors, the shapes, the expression of consciousness at, you know, sleeping, waking, in between.
Exactly. Yeah, it definitely like memory, nostalgia, and just processing everything. I don't know, that's number one in the creative process for me, for sure. It's just kind of like harnessing a specific memory or emotion or, you know, point in time and rolling with it.
It's a powerful thing.
Yeah.
Sam, number 10, what question would you ask another artist? A random future origin stories artist. What question would you throw at that person?
Oh God. Oh, what would I ask? Yeah, I mean, when was the first time you felt like art saved you, I guess.
It's a good one.
Yeah. I could have asked like, what's your favorite fucking breakfast? Like, what, you know, do you have like pets?
Sam, what's your favorite fucking breakfast?
There's this place in Seattle that has it's called Skillet, and it has this oh my god, it's like lemon ricotta pancakes and like slow cooked maple pork brisket stuff.
Whoa.
It's not technically brisket, but it's, you know, that style. So it's like the pancakes, the brisket, and like, you know, like diner coffee, and it's just like insanity. And I think about it a lot. I actually can't eat gluten anymore. That's a whole other thing that I could dive into. Prior to like 6 months ago, I had a chronic migraine disorder where I was pretty much out for 15 days out of the month. like bad. So 6 months ago, I started seeing an amazing neurologist, and she was like, yo, you should try cutting out gluten. And I was like, that sucks, but okay. And so so I did it, and yeah, that was like, that helped a lot with like it's just, gluten's a huge inflammatory thing for me, I guess. And yeah, so I can't eat gluten anymore, and I can't have lemon ricotta pancakes. But that would be my answer to the breakfast question.
It's a good answer. You immediately brightened up. I could see that meal. I could see that just
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Literally insane. Skillet Diner in Seattle, best breakfast. They have like, their menu is so fun too. Like I love restaurants that kind of just like go off the deep end, and like,
oh yeah,
they have this French toast thing that's literally just like half a loaf of bread as French toast. It's crazy. But
I also enjoy your comment about diner coffee. Like, I'm the biggest coffee snob in the world. It's like, it's my morning ritual, and so I put a lot of love into making that one cup, you know.
my little espresso machine.
Love that. But hearing you say that, you know, one definite type of coffee that I am not, like, I'm a coffee snob, but then all of a sudden it doesn't matter, and that is diner coffee.
Yeah, I'm all for the cortado, and like just completely obsessed with good coffee as well. And diner coffee, just like, never, even if it's terrible, it's fine, you know. It's so weird.
That's a good quote. Even if it's terrible, it's fine.
Yeah, it's general life advice.
Yep. So Sam, what's next for you? You made it through, by the way, congratulations, you made it through the lightning round. What's next for you?
I'm just gonna keep sculpting, I guess, and I want to eventually start streaming on Twitch and helping people kind of like learn the ins and outs of ZBrush, because it seems to be a roadblock for a lot of people that is worth, you know, getting over. It's a very powerful piece of software that has changed my life, and I think it could help a lot of people, but there's just so many little tiny annoying things about it that I wish that I had someone to walk me through it first, and I would love to help people out with that. Yeah.
Just paying it forward. It's my favorite thing in the world, that you immersed yourself. And I also really enjoy that ecosystem where you shouted some special people out early that helped you in various ways. And to hear you say that as an answer to what's next it's pretty darn special, because I think it's easy to talk about what art of yours is next, or what you're going to be doing. And the fact that you led with that's, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep doing what I do, but that's what I'm excited about, is to be able to like help smaller artists. Yeah, and I don't know. The thing is, like, I'm not even like a ZBrush like there's people that are way better in ZBrush than I am, but even being able to sort of just like answer little questions and kind of like be in Twitch sometime and just kind of like interact with people, I think would be cool, and good for me as far as like being a recluse that needs more social interaction. I need more social interaction in real life too, but like being able to like actually talk to people on Twitch would be kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure. And especially just adding such clear value to, like, hey, maybe what you said is true. Maybe there were people, you know, better than you in ZBrush, but you've clearly established yourself, and know your way around. So I think that's it's a great thing to share.
Yeah.
All right. Your origin story is complete for now, until the next one, at whatever later date, and more incredible things happen along your artistic journey. I'd love to be in a place where we could welcome you back again.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Thank you so much for this. It was sorry if I made it kind of an emotional roller coaster. I feel like my head is just all over the place nowadays, and I hope that I gave some good insight on my origin story.
I believe that you did. I think emotion is why we're all here at some level, at least.
Yeah.
And, I told you this before we started. I tell everyone, and just to share it with the public again, it's like the goal is Origin Stories it's raw, it's real, it's two people having a dialogue and talking about what points along your story mean the most to you. And I think what I've understood along this road is a lot of people really enjoy that. A lot of people really enjoy hearing it from your perspective, wherever it goes, wherever the conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, till next time, have a good day. I hope your dog's doing good. Get that guy outside.
Get that guy outside, indeed, and maybe not get Roy outside, but keep enjoying Roybus.
Yeah, he likes to go on the balcony and I have a pot of cat grass that he, grazes on, but that's pretty much the extent of it. Is outside. But yeah.
Feral no more.
Yeah.
All right, Sam Clover, Planttdaddii, keep doing what you do. Your art is wonderful, and we'll talk to you soon.
Talk soon. Bye.